Ian, my mind's made up. I'm not putting her through chemotherapy, radiotherapy. I am just not going that route.
Welcome to Dog Cancer Answers, where we help you help your dog with cancer.
Tell me when you first noticed something was off with Lilli.
2020, February, lockdown. It was the very day of the lockdown. I was in the field.
Oh my goodness.
I was in the field and I noticed her scooting really bad, and then she had a bit of diarrhea, and I always checked the poo. I used to do it with Hugsy the rabbit, check his poo. I knew then poo can tell you a lot of things.
Very true.
So I rang the vet and he says, you can come down. He said, but you'll need to wait in the car park and we'll take Lilli in. This was February 22. Sitting in the car park, 20 minutes, half an hour, 40 minutes. I'm thinking something wrong here. And then they ring me. Hello, John. I says, yeah. She says, got a little bit of bad news for you. She said, there's a bit of trouble in the anal gland. And we've known they've been emptied several times. We've found a little 2 centimetre growth. Now, it could be malignant or it could be adenocarcinoma. That word meant nothing to me at the time. That word haunts me these days. When I read other dogs on the Facebook, I think, God. So they said to me, look, we're happy to bring her in on Wednesday and we'll give her a test. The needle test.
Fine needle aspirate.
Fine needle, yeah. Mm-hmm. So take her home at night. We've gave her an antibiotic and she'll be a bit more livelier. So we booked her in for the Wednesday. I got a phone call on the Tuesday saying we have to cancel the aspirate. We're now in total lockdown. Lockdown. So they give me a call every few weeks. How's Lilli, John? I say she's okay. I can't see a lump on the outside. I couldn't see nothing on the outside. And then I thought, well, she's not acting any different.
Was she still having bad poops, diarrhea? Was she still scooting on the ground? Or?
Not at all.
Okay.
Not at all. And I thought, have they got it wrong? And then one of the vets said, with several conversations, and she said, look, John, it's a possibility. It could be benign. How is she acting? I said, like a 2-year-old. Seriously, she's never.
But how old was she really? She's acting like a 2-year-old, but she was.
At that time, she would have been 10.
Okay, so 10, acting like a 2-year-old, we're 10. Pretty happy.
Yeah, pretty happy dog. So September comes and so we're in and out a lot. UK was terrible. You must have seen the mess ups they made here. They made big, serious mess ups with everything. People dying that shouldn't have died, Molly. Animals dying that should never have died. But that's another debate.
Right, but that's another podcast.
That's another podcast. Let me get hold of some of these politicians. I'll tell them what happened. So in September, things seemed to quieten down. They did make their big mistake opening up restaurants, and the COVID just mushroomed 70,000 people in a couple of weeks dead. So again, back into lockdown.
And she still hasn't had a fine needle aspirate. It's been since February to September, and she still hasn't had an actual diagnosis?
No, not at all. So I goes back in September. They were ringing me up. By this time, I'm thinking, they must be suffering in business. I thought they must be finding it. And I used to joke, I said, why you're phoning me now is you need to get some money in. I says, look, I'm happy if you're happy, and you know perfectly well that's what it needs to come out. She says, well, I'm capable of doing it. So we agreed, it gets done. So I take her down. They'd done the aspirate, and they were going to keep her in, and they removed a 2 centimetre tumour. And they did say it was a clean
clean margins.
Clean margins. However, it could come back. It is 3 days later they got the results of the tumour, adenocarcinoma. That's the way you say it, adenocarcinoma. Adenocarcinoma.
Yep.
It may well come back. It might not come back. So that was September
21 or 2020.
2020.
Okay.
September 2020.
And it was 2 centimeters when they first found it in February of that year, and then it was 2 centimeters when they removed it. So it hadn't really grown. Hadn't grown at all. So got the operation done. She was fine. A couple of days later, she was back out. She was doing her usual thing. And last December, about 2 weeks before Christmas, I was taking her to the groomers. I picked her up. I put her in the car, and I felt which was, I thought, a bit of fur. And my mind thought, no, I'll get her groomed and have a look. And I could see a lump coming out the side of her right anus. And that was, so I phoned the vet up, and the vet says, nothing to worry about. She said she's had the operation a way back the year before. And I thought, no, I'm not accepting that as an answer. There's something there. Bring her in Wednesday. I went down on a Wednesday, lifted up her tail. I said, there, it's there. I could see it clearly. It was a few centimetres. And she said, it looks like it. I'll do an aspirate. And then she says, I'll let you know Friday. Now we're heading into the Christmas week. If it is, she said, I'll get her fitted in before Christmas. So get the bad news again on the Friday. However, bring her in the Monday and we'll do the operation. Took her in the Monday, done the operation, and this is when it gets a little bit complicated now, because we're back into lockdowns again. Okay, so this is the end of 2021. You know that she's got a recurrence of the adenocarcinoma, the second surgery to take it out. Have they looked at metastasis? Have they looked for metastasis yet? Right. Have they done scans? So what they said to me was, they'd been billing me heavily, I think, Molly. So this will shock you. This will shock you. So I was told to bring her back 4 days later to get her stitches out. I pulls into the car park, and you've got to call them and tell them you're here. And this young vet came out, and it was raining. And he says, right, you lift her tail and I'll take her stitches out. Oh, right, in your car? I thought, yeah, outside in the car park. I thought, no. I've seen, you are about the 20th veterinary guy I've seen in here in the last few months. I can't take it no more. I says, I'm not letting you take stitches out in the car. Take her inside the building, I'll wait here. And they came back out. He says, oh, they're a bit tender still. Can you come back Friday? So I seen the vet on the Friday who performed the operation. And she says to me, yeah, I'll get the stitches out. She says, and pop back next week and we'll just check it as the wound's healing. And she never told me nothing else. So I went back the following week and I seen a young girl, 26, I can't remember her name. And she said to me, yeah, she's looking well. I've took her stitches out. She said, but did you get the bad news from the vet? I won't mention her name. Well, Marianne. I said, Marianne just said that she took her stitches out and that was it. She said, well, we've found some metastatic cancer in the sublumbar nodes. So I thought they'd done scans and they didn't tell you that they were doing scans. Yeah. So you didn't know that was bad news was coming or any news was coming. So I says, well, what can we do? What can we do? I mean, I'm standing in a car park and I felt sorry for her because like most of these young vets, Kate, they love animals. They go to university, they get their degree. And before they know it, they're working in these veterinary places who have been bought out by companies who are looking for return on investments, and they just want these vets to go through as many animals as they possibly can. That's how I see it today. And I said, well, what is the next move? She says, well, really, I'll have to speak to a vet and see if we can dampen it down.
That was the word she used, dampen it down.
Dampen it down.
So I gets in the car and I thought, I can't have this. And I started on the net and I come across the book. And I bought the book straight away and it was delivered the next day. I paid the express, got that, and I thought, right. Back onto the vet, I says, I want to see a specialist. I said, you can't dampen it down. Well, I've actually spoke to someone at the Willows and he said he could do these operations with his eyes closed. I said, well, he must be a very good surgeon because it's right next to the aorta. I've looked at the structure of the dog. I said, it's very close to two arteries. I says, but I'm willing to go. Can you get me booked in? Let me see what I can do. 2 weeks later, they're not seeing anybody for 4 months. She said they're only seeing emergencies only. I thought, right. So the Marianne vet rang me. She knew I wasn't happy, so she must have went to her supervisor, and she came back and says, look, I've found somewhere else, but you'll need to go as soon as they tell you to go. And I got a call one morning. I couldn't believe it. Is that John Mcleish? Yes. You'll have to get down here tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock. She said the fee's £295. I said, who's this? Is this someone I do business with? She says, we're a referral centre for Lilli. And can you ask your vet to send all the details down? And I said, I'll be there. She said, the fee's £295. She says, and then we take it from there. And that's how I started on the referral route. And that was back in January. And
of this year, 2022.
Yeah. So I mentioned, I told this vet I'm using the Apocaps. She says, well, she was American actually. She says, yeah, I've heard of them. She says, but you ought to be doing chemotherapy, radiotherapy, and I'll be honest with you, both of you. She wasn't happy that I took Lilli away. I could tell. And when I got to reception, she says it's $295 and $350 for the blood results. So the blood results come, and the blood results were not the same. They were exact same as they were in December. And Ian, the vet director, said it's disgraceful that she'd done a blood test. They've just took you for another £350. He said, I appreciate you, John. I've got to know you as a human being and not just somebody that brings his dog in. He says, you've put a lot into Lilli. You've put a lot into Hug. I've spent thousands on Hugs on his teeth.
Hugsy's your rabbit, or I think
Hugsy's gone.
God rest his soul, but
he passed away last February. Yeah, he was 8. And 8-year-old, yeah, he was funny. I'll send you some pictures. He was unbelievable. So Ian, he wrote to the referral centre, but the referral centre wrote back to him, and here is what they said. They'd only suggested that I do a blood test, so she covered herself right away. If he doesn't want to pay the £19,000, we can offer lesser chemotherapy. Palliative? No,
Palladia. Palladia.
We can offer
the at-home chemotherapy pill.
Yeah, we can do that. We can do this. So I thought, Ian, my mind's made up. I'm not putting her through chemotherapy, radiotherapy. I am just not going that route, because the way I feel now, Lily's 12 this year. She's too old. Her body won't be able to take it, and she's in difficult years as well. Where I was going to say a butcher. He butchered her, and he never done any tests and removed a mammary gland which didn't need moving. It was an insect that had been in there. It was a long story, Molly, but that's why I changed vets. And I just thought, no, what I'm going to do, I'm doing the Apocaps, CBD, fresh chicken, fresh steak, the best of meat. I would rather spend £19,000 on food for a dog that's put £19,000 worth of chemicals into the dog.
Now, sometimes chemotherapy is the right choice for some, for dogs, for some people, but sometimes it's not.
Molly, I think if Lily was 2 or 4, I would have went the chemotherapy route. I wouldn't have gave it a second glance, but I thought at our age, and then when I seen a few people would say to me, we had dogs, John, 10, 11, and once we started giving them chemotherapy, radiotherapy, it killed them.
And I have to say, just for the listeners who are in chemo or radiation or are thinking about it, that's not that typically we do. The dogs can do well, but it really is an individual decision, and it's an individual decision for dogs. I've had dogs that I would happily do chemotherapy or radiation with, and then another dog who at the same age with the same diagnosis I would not have, just because of all sorts of individual dog-based or cancer-based decisions. But in your case with Lilli, you were just 12 and it was too much. And it sounds to me, and I might be wrong about this, John, but it sounds like you also just really didn't like this referral vet.
It was in a room, Molly. There was no windows. There was over 200 specialist vets in this building, orthopaedic surgeon, heart surgeons. I got the impression it was like a conveyor belt.
It just didn't feel
Did not
warm
feel right.
And it wasn't right for you and for
Lily. Was not right for me. Now, if I'd have went maybe to Willows or Fitzpatrick's, they've got a good name in the UK, chances are, slim chances, I would have perhaps would have done the chemo, but I'm glad that I didn't do it.
Yeah, I'm not questioning your decision, John. Yeah. I'd never do that.
Enough information out of the dog cancer guidebook than I've had off of vets. It's gave me hope. It's gave Lily hope. I tell everybody about it. People think I'm mad. But the sad thing is, sooner or later, she won't be here. I said to that vet as well. The sad thing. Before I left, I said, I've got. Should we get any questions? I says, I have. I said, how long has Lily got left? And she says, on the downside, 9 months. On a good side, 14 months. Now, 9 months have passed, and Lily's been out for about 4 or 5 miles today. But what I've got to stop doing is I worry about her. All my friends tell me, you spend too much time. You look more ill than Lily looks. I've lost a lot of weight because I worry about her.
This show is brought to you by dogcancer.com, where over 40 veterinarians, veterinary oncologists, cancer researchers, and science writers pull together to bring you better information today so you have no regrets tomorrow. We do the research, we talk to the folks in the trenches, and sift through the hype and the anecdotes. That's dogcancer.com. Start your own research at dogcancer.com today so you have no regrets tomorrow. This is a really important thing I wanted to talk to you about, actually, because Lilli is clearly an amazing dog, and you have worked so hard on helping her through this. You've done so much and been such a fierce advocate during extreme. Dog cancer is terrible to navigate to begin with. Navigating dog cancer during a worldwide pandemic, when you can't even be in the room with the veterinarians as they examine, do the fine needle aspirate, take the blood test, whatever it is that they're doing, you're not there with her. This is very stressful. So your stress levels have been, as many of our listeners have also been, extreme and through the roof. And I really want to congratulate you on navigating that with relative grace and ease, and also really sticking by your guns in terms of your own intuitive feeling about who you trust and how you want to work. And
that you found the right vet and you kept going, and finding the right relationship, I think, is one of the most important things that we can do as dog lovers, is to put together a team that we know we have confidence in, because the worst cases, in my experience, are the ones where someone afterwards feels like they made decisions based on half information or not enough information, or they didn't ask the right questions, or didn't ask asked the wrong questions because they didn't trust their team. And so I just really want to congratulate you on really making sure that you trusted your team, whatever that means for the listener. That importance of working with someone who really vibes with you and your dog is so important.
It's so important.
Yeah. So I want to talk to you about, so yay on that. And then I want to ask you about how you are managing your own personal stress. Because, I mean, you've been reading Dr. Dressler's book, but did you read the chapter on how important it is to take care of yourself?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yes, but I do what most humans would do. They'd say, yeah, I've got to do that. I've got to look after myself. And 10 minutes later, my focus is back on the dog again.
Yes, exactly.
And then to top that up, my girlfriend we got another pup. When did we got Peanut on 2021. She's 20 months now. And we've now got Elsa, who's a year old now. And
so you have two little actual puppies.
Yeah, they're not here, they're down at my girlfriend's tonight, but they're here most of the time. And that keeps her going as well, because when she's out in the field, she tries to keep up with them and chases them about.
So, because that's something people really wonder about. Like, oh, is it too stressful for me to get a new puppy when my dog has cancer? And shouldn't I just focus on my dog? And sometimes I think it depends. It completely depends. But sometimes I think, having a puppy around is a joy and a delight.
Yeah.
And as long as the puppy and the dog with the older dog with cancer get along, it can be a real quality of life boost.
Yeah.
Don't you think?
Yeah, definitely. I was unsure, Molly, whether to get the other puppy, but we thought, we'll get it. And Lilli took to her right away. She took to her right away. And then my partner thought, I've got a dream dog. And this one is a dream dog.
Elsa.
I'll tell you a little story about Elsa, Molly. My girlfriend's been looking for another Cocker Spaniel for a long time. And it's got to be the top dog. Now, there's where the dog come from, Molly. She's one of the she won Crufts all the time. With Cocker Spaniels, she's a breeder, a proper breeder.
Okay,
she's a judge all over the world. And Victoria one night, she said, I've got a beautiful 6-month-old pup here. She says, I can't. It will not be a champ dog. And I thought, what's wrong? She said, its tail is a centimetre too small.
I love these.
Can you believe?
Not up to breed standard.
Can you believe that? Well, I said to Victoria, I said, hold on a minute. I said, Lilli, I don't want getting stressed. I know you live in your own, and Peanut's here most of the time. Another one. And she says, we'll think about it. And then she just knocked my door one day, and then come this beautiful, long-haired, proper...
She thought about it. She just didn't talk to you about it.
No, she rang me one Saturday night. She said, I'm coming down from the north. She says, I'm going to go straight home. She lives down in Woburn Sands near Milton Keynes. And I said, are you not going to drop in? She says, no, I'll see you tomorrow. I've got a surprise to show you. And I thought, And I had Lilli and Peanut here, and at 11 o'clock that morning, the door opened, and then come this Cocker Spaniel, a proper show Cocker Spaniel, and she's been treated like the Queen just now. She's not been groomed yet. She looks like an Afghan hound, because she's determined that she's going to find the best groomer in the country, and this is her baby.
With a 1 centimeter too short tail.
I've never heard.
Everybody has to be imperfect in some way, John.
Yeah. But this woman, I mean, she's a top world class breeder, Dubai, all over the state.
Yeah, there are breed standards.
So, and I say, well, I was shocked, really. But Lilli took to her right away. She said, and Lilli is more like Lilli is a show when Lilli was younger, beautiful, long hair, nice long coat. This one's the same. It takes to Lilli more, looks for the motherly thing, which is cute sometimes. It makes the same noises, or if Lilli start, it's just so.
She imprinted on Lilli. Oh, so when Lilli, whenever it's Lilli's time, you'll still have Elsa who does the same things.
Same things, the exact same things.
That's so beautiful. That's so beautiful.
But it'll never be the same.
Of course not. No, of course not. But it's for me, it's a comfort to know that dogs communicate with each other, teach each other things, and keep a legacy alive. I have a really, really quick story about that. My little Kanga, when she was a tiny puppy, imprinted like that on a Maltese. She was a Maltese and another Maltese who lives about 4 doors up from us. And her name was Georgie. The first time we ever took a walk with Georgie, Kanga just followed her around, did everything she did. Well, when Georgie went to pee, she always stood on her 2 front legs and lifted her rear end up in the air and peed in that, like a circus dog.
Yeah.
Every time she peed. So Kanga tried to do the same thing. She wasn't able to do 2 legs up, but she could do 1 leg up. Yeah. So from that moment on, Kanga always peed with one leg up, not like a boy, but like lifting it behind her, like she was trying to be like Georgie. So Georgie passed a couple of years ago, and they got a new puppy whose name was Maisie. And the first time that we took a walk together, Maisie looked at the way Kanga was peeing with 1 leg up.
Really?
Yes. And Maisie, the next day, Richard, her dad, said to me, Maisie's been doing this crazy thing. She's been lifting her right rear leg when she pees now, like Kanga. And I said, well, Kanga must have told her this is how we pee. Your mother would have told you if she'd been alive when you were here. So Georgie passed it to Kanga, who passed it back to Maisie. So now he has 2 Maltese who pee correctly. This has been so wonderful. I wonder, though, what your best advice is for others who have a dog cancer diagnosis. Like, what do you wish everybody knew?
First of all, I would recommend the book. That is a priority, and Apocaps. A priority. Now, on top of that, Molly, as well, you get the odd thing that will say, oh, this is all about Dr. Dressler making a fortune out of Amazon selling Apocaps. I've picked a few comments like that up. So I thought, no, I can tell by looking at both of you how you are as individuals. When people are talking like this, we're not just talking, we're sharing from the heart. What I'm saying tonight is coming from my heart, not my head. And what I'm seeing, I know you've not said too much though, Kate, I can see it in your eyes. I know what's coming back, like spirituality, call it whatever you like, the vibration's good. So I had a look at these few people that were making out, no, don't buy that book, don't do this, don't do that, try this book, try that book. Well, I did. I thought I'll spend £6, £7, get a book. Absolute waste of time. Complete. They had nothing in it at all, no value. And I thought if people would only just latch on to any dog with cancer, or even cats, especially the Apocaps as well. and read that book and take every piece of information that you can get, whether it means sitting down on a Saturday afternoon when you've got half an hour or an hour and you're bored and you're looking for something to do. I'll always open that book up and I'll see something that I might have seen it a few months ago. I'll see it in a different light and I'll think, right, let's try this, because it's so, let me say, how long did the book take, Molly, to write?
Oh my goodness. Well, Dr. Dressler researched it for years, worked with people in his clinic for years, took him at least a year to write it, the first edition, and then 3 years to do the second edition. And and we're currently working on updating that edition right now. And it takes a tremendous amount of work and lots of people are involved. It's not just Dr. Dressler and Dr. Ettinger. It's all of these other veterinarians who review it and help to do the thinking. And it's a lot of work that's, frankly, they're not compensated for in any royalties are not an earner.
And I think people like myself, Molly, as well. We do a lot of worrying about our animals. We are animal lovers, and I might read a passage, and I'm not sure I'll forget about it in 2 days' time. But if I read it again, maybe in 2 or 3 weeks' time, it's a whole ball game. It's as if I've seen it for the first time. It starts hitting the head. Let's try this now. Now, I didn't see much about mushrooms in the book.
He does refer to them as, he says, mushroom-derived polysaccharides. Dr. Dressler talks about mushroom-derived polysaccharides in chapter 13. It starts on page 182. So today, it's more common to call them medicinal mushrooms.
Right.
But he also talks about cordyceps in chapter 11 as a really good supplement for dogs who have heart problems as a result of chemo.
Now, believe it or not, so what gave me inspiration? I've always been an animal lover. I then contacted someone, Molly, at Apocaps, wherever the distribution was, and I said, because my intention after COVID, business was going to, I've been doing different businesses, and I thought, I'll set a pet business up. And I looked into medicinal mushrooms, and I got 5, and I branded it up. I got them all tested in the UK. I've got quite a lot I don't want to mention the website on here as advertisement, if you know what I mean. It's lovely branding, and I asked, I bought quite a lot of Apocaps, couple of $1,000, I think, worth. I'll put them on the website. Now, I know people won't see the website for quite some time, but it was another, if someone come across it and couldn't find it on Amazon, at least they would get it on the website. And I had another order the night for Apocaps. A woman, she starts repeating the orders. And then I allocated a page on the website for Apocaps and gave the Cancer Guide book. So it's got a lot of advertising. And whoever I emailed said, yeah, you can do it. So I got a little bit of discount when I buy in bulk from the States.
Oh, I see.
So it's another way of people, if they come across the website, they'll see Apocaps, they'll press Apocaps, and it will give a whole point of view on the dog cancer guides, and then they can. To be honest with you, there's very little. I've done this one as a free product, really. I'll buy because I know they'll buy other products. I'm not looking for product off Apocaps. You go to Amazon and buy it for $59.99. I'll sell you it for $59.99. It will cost me £50 to land in the UK. There's probably £5 profit. It ain't any big deal. I know it's helping someone, and they might see something else on the website that they've come on to specifically look for, but they think, Apocaps, what's that about?
Okay, we'll put a link in the show notes for you.
And then they see that then, oh, so that's happened twice, 2, 3, 3 times that someone has actually phoned me and said, can you just, we've seen your website. It's only a brand new website. It's been up a few months. And they say, what about Apocaps? So then I tell them, I'm not here to sell you them. If you want to go to Amazon, you go to Amazon. But I'll give you my experience on them. And my experience has been, both of you, they work well. They work well. She takes 2 in the morning. She gets 2 at night. She's never had any upset stomachs. Nothing like that. And she looks forward to them. What I was going to try doing was giving her some of the lion's mane, or the other one, what's the one, tail? Turkey tail. But what I don't want to do is start banging all this too what's the saying? Just too many.
You don't want to over supplement.
Correct. That's it.
Yeah, that's wise. I mean, there is such a thing as doing too many. And think about it this way. If you went to your physician, your human physician, and they said to you, look, you should be on 12 medications all at the same time, and these 14 supplements, you would think that's a lot.
Yeah.
That's a lot, because that's a lot. There's, everything should be done under veterinary supervision, and these decisions should be made. You should not do more than you need to do.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
In general, we should, because you can throw the body out of balance by doing too much of a good thing, can turn into a bad thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. John, this has been such an amazing conversation. I so appreciate you taking your time and sharing your story and your love for Lilli with us. I am so thrilled that you've just worked so hard. I want you to take really good care of yourself. When you go on those walks, I want you to pretend that you're one of Lilli's dog friends and be carefree. That's my homework for you.
Thank you very much.
See the world the way Lilli sees it.
Yeah, because
you can take a break every day. I want you to take a break from being John and be like, I don't know, what's your name? What's your dog name?
What's my dog name? I'll need to think. I'll need to think of one. But
okay.
The sad day will come, Molly. I think what I've got to start doing, and I've tried it in the last few weeks, is get more positive. It's today. She's here today.
That's
enjoy her today.
Right.
And I'll get some friends in the village who'll say, John, why put yourself through all the worry and anxiety? Because it's not going to change a thing. He said, sometimes we felt like saying to you last year, you are going to die before Lilli goes because you are not eating properly. Your mind's, you're too focused on her. You're too focused on the negativity.
Yeah, you gotta take good care of yourself so that as Lilli has a good day, you can have a good day too. I really appreciate you being here today. Thank you. Hoping for a regular dose of hope along with the latest information on dog cancer? Subscribe to our email newsletter, Dog Cancer News, at dogcancernews.com. Each week, we send support, guidance, hope, and information via email to dog lovers just like you. We know what it's like to have a dog with cancer. So join us and subscribe to Dog Cancer News at dogcancernews.com.
Thank you for listening to Dog Cancer Answers. If you'd like to connect, please visit our website at dogcancer.com or call our listener line at 808-868-3200. And here's a friendly reminder that you probably already know. This podcast is provided for informational and educational purposes only. It's not meant to take the place of the advice you receive from your dog's veterinarian. Only veterinarians who examine your dog can give you veterinary advice or diagnose your dog's medical condition. Your reliance on the information you hear on this podcast is solely at your own risk. If your dog has a specific health problem, contact your veterinarian. Also, please keep in mind that veterinary information can change rapidly. Therefore, some information may be out of date. Dog Cancer Answers is a presentation of Maui Media in association with Dog Podcast Network.